W with MRMIKE.
Hi friends, today we are going to draw a baseball. Now, I have another drawing lesson about baseballs, but this baseball has got a little bit of personality. Baseball's looking around. So, what do we need to create this baseball? A circle, an arc, and a line. I'm going to create a circle right about here. Now this is what you'd call a freehand circle because I didn't use a template to help me create it. Now by a template I mean I didn't use any sort of guide to help me draw this circle. I just used my hand and freely drew a circle. So if you want to use a template or a guide, you can use, this is just a roll of tape I'm going to use, something like this, or you can, if you have a roll of tape, you can use it. And I'm just going to hold this down and trace around it. Okay, now you want to be sure that you are allowed to use whatever you're using as a guide to draw on, because you see I got marker all over this tape, and we don't want to use something that you're going to get marker on that shouldn't have marker on it. So I'm okay with this tape having marker on it, so it's my tape. I know that I'm allowed to do this. But just check and make sure that you're allowed to use what you're going to use as a template to draw on. All right, so I've got my circle, and you notice there's a little line here. That's okay, we're going to fix that later. Don't worry about that line. All right, so now we have our circle, and it's a very good looking circle. It's a perfect circle. And maybe I want it to look a little bit more like this though, maybe not as perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this thick line and I'm gonna come around and trace my circle line and just make it look a little more natural. So I'm just pushing down a little bit on my marker, and look, that's a thicker line that looks like it's a hand draw, like a perfectly freely drawn circle. Okay, moving on. I'm spending too much time talking about circles. Let's add in an arc. Okay, so we're gonna draw two arcs, and I'm gonna make one right here, and this is where the lacing will go, because that's how a baseball is made. It's sewn together. Okay, you notice those little red strings that are going inside the laces that are going all around the baseball. So this is where the seam is, where it's joined together in an arc. And we'll do another one, put another one here. Okay, so we have two arcs. Now, if at any point during this video you need to pause and catch up, just pause the video, catch up on your own, and then join back in with us. Okay, next, I'm going to add a whole bunch of lines. I'm going to add so many lines, we're not going to be able to count them. I don't think you can count them. Maybe you'll be able to count them when we're all done, but we have so many lines to add. So, we're not going to say how many lines, you just know how many you want to create. And whatever number you come up with, that will be fine. I'm going to make a bunch. So I'm going to start right here, and all the lines are going to be angled in toward that arc. Okay, so watch. These are all short lines. And we're just going to angle them all in. This is the lacing that's going to go around the baseball. Okay, so they're all pointed in just like that. Now remember, you can pause the video to catch up. I'm going to continue, but if you need to pause, just pause the video. And now I'm going to add more lines. So many lines! I cannot possibly count how many lines. I probably could count them afterwards. I could count them right now, but I'd have to start over again to start counting, because I can't start counting when I started in the middle, because I couldn't possibly catch up. Does that make sense? I'm going to keep drawing lines. Here we go. another set of lines, and I will remind all of my artist friends, you can pause the video if you need to. But I'm going to keep line drawing. Line, 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 another line, and then another line, and another line, and then another line, and I'll stop saying that, I promise. Okay, and we're almost done. So many lines. They kind of look like tire tracks. Maybe. Okay, next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna give our baseball a little personality. What do you say? We're gonna add 2 circles for eyes. Let's add one right here, and then another right here. And then I'm gonna add 2 arcs for the pupils of the eyes. So watch, we're gonna have, well, let's see, what would be funny? Because I think I'm gonna use that line to my advantage now. Because I think it kind of looks like a hair growing out top of the baseball's head. But maybe it's not a hair, maybe it's a blade of grass. It could be one blade of grass that's stuck on the top of the baseball. So let's make that work for us. So we had a mistake, and now we're going to change our drawing because it's kind of funny. So I'm going to add in some lines. Here's a line, and then another one. And I'm actually going to make that line bigger and make it look like a piece of grass. So here we go. Line, and then I'm going to have another line come down, and then another line come over, and then I'll have another line come over here, and then maybe another line here. And then we'll just add here and then have it come over. So now, this is going to be, when I color this in, this is going to be green. And you'll get to see all of my color choices at the end of the video. But for now, know that this is going to be a blade of grass on top of the baseball's head, just sitting there. So we're gonna make the pupils, the eyes, look up toward the blade of grass. So let's have an arc here and an arc here, and we're going to color those in just like this. So now we've got something on top of our baseball. The baseball sees it up there, and it kind of looks like baseball's smiling, this big arc here. And we're going to add in an arc here. So we'll have an arc on either side of the baseball, and it's going to look like the baseball's on the ground. So actually, maybe we should make it in the grass so that it makes sense that the grass is on top of the baseball. So let's use some more lines to create grass around the baseball. So what we can do is we will use lines and arcs and just place them like this around the baseball. Now it'll look as though the baseball is sitting in the grass. You can add more blades of grass here. To fill in. And then when we make our color choices at the end, we're going to color in the sky and all the grass down here, and then we'll color in the baseball and the lacing, and then the blade of grass. So here is the line art for our drawing of a baseball. But what color choices are you going to make? So follow to the end of the video to see the color choices that I made. What color choices will you make? And if you like this drawing video, then please subscribe to my channel and smash that like button. And if you have ideas on drawing lessons that you would like to see, then leave them in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for drawing with me today. I'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Let's draw with Mr. Mike.
For this and other episodes, drawing lessons, activities, and books, please visit drawwithmrmike.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the Draw with Mr. Mike channel on YouTube, Vimeo, and Facebook.
Draw with Mr. Mike. Let's draw with Mr. Mike. DRAW with MRMIKE.